Mr. Speaker, members, I find myself conflicted. On the one hand, I think we should have less testing, and I think we should give more control to our teachers over education and to our parents. But the issue here, and by the way, there was a poll done, and the poll indicated, it was in the newspaper the other day, that most Californians want more testing. So I guess I'm out of step with that poll. But my concerns with this bill have to do with two things. One, what exactly are we implementing with the Common Core? Because that's basically what we're moving to, even though this is a transition. And then, how do we address the logistical nightmare of ultimately putting every single student, there's 6.2 million students in California, onto a computer-only system? How do we pay for that? Where's the funding going to come from? How do we implement standards that haven't been tested anywhere? So while we're talking about tests, and I have a question for the author.
Question of the author without objection.
I'm sorry. I have another question I was listening to. Yes.
Where have these standards that are going to be implemented, I realize this is a small piece of the Common Core, but where have these standards been tested and where have they been implemented before now?
We're in the process of that implementation.
Okay, back on my own time. One of the things that's on the website for Common Core is it states that this is essentially internationally tested, or at least it did before it was pulled down, because it hasn't been tested anywhere. We don't know what these standards really are. We don't know what impact they're going to have on our kids' education. There's a huge consortium of parents, teachers, and all kinds of business owners and everybody else who's finding out more and more about the Common Core, who are saying, I'm not sure about this. And this is not restricted to just Republicans. This is something that is also deeply concerning to Democrats and independents, because education is not a partisan issue. And so I think we should really reject moving forward with something we don't quite know what the implications are going to be to our education, and we don't have the logistical infrastructure in place to do what the Common Core demands. So I think we need to take a pause and a time out here and really get a handle on what we're doing to our kids' education. So I'm going to have to urge a no vote.